Welcome to the Boiler Room Trading Money Talks podcast. If you'd like to be our next guest, follow the first link in the description of this video and add yourself to our podcast guest list. All right, guys, tonight we have on Brian from Florida. He has been a member in our chat room for quite a while now, and he's got some insight to share with us tonight, just kind of on his trading experience. So we're going to kick it off, let him introduce himself, and we'll go from there.
What's up, Connor? Thanks. I'm super excited to be on this with you. It's your second podcast.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Second podcast. And Brian reached out to me pretty much as soon as he heard I was going to do a podcast. He's like, I want to be on. I'm like, all right, you got it. And as soon as I put out the form to start bringing on guests, he was the first person on it. So I knew he was serious. He wanted to be on. So we're going to go and run through kind of why he has gravitated to trading the way that he does. And then we're going to give you guys a little bit of bonus content towards the end of this podcast as well. So you should expect this to run about 15 minutes.
Sure. I got into trading, we were in 2020 and about 2017. And something I did that I don't think enough traders do is I did not put my money in the market right away. I actually studied for a solid 6 to 7 months. I didn't even paper trade. I had no interest in paper trading, but I wanted to learn the platform and see how the markets moved. And I really thought it was important to learn a strategy and risk management before I ever even got into trading. So I watched the market for a couple of months, just over 6 or 7 months before I ever put money into it. Okay. And the only reason I even found a chat room, I didn't go there for knowledge at all. I actually learned a lot about price action watching your older videos. So if anyone's trying to learn how to trade, go on YouTube and look up Connor's older videos. There's tons and tons of content that on there that's incredibly valuable.
Thank you.
And so I went on and I joined a chat room, and it was massive and it was interesting, but I don't know. I think chat rooms, I think they're a blessing and a curse. I think they provide a ton of either bad information or FOMO. And especially as a new trader, it's cool to be in the community with people, but you also, your account's not the size of someone's, and you're seeing certain people make thousands of dollars a day in profits. And I think that really clouds your judgment and your ability to trade, because you're just earning to make that kind of money in the market, because it's so accessible nowadays, the stock market. All you got to do is open up Thinkorswim. It's got no minimum balance. You can put in whatever you want. And I think it's a huge fallacy to get rich quick in the stock market.
Absolutely. I think you nailed it perfect there. I mean, I can touch on that, but pretty much everything Brian just said there, is pretty much spot on, given the circumstance and how you look at it, right? But pretty much everything he said there is really spot on. Chat rooms can be a great thing. They can also be a bad thing, right? And it pretty much same thing you do in trading, right? You manage trading. You got to learn kind of how to manage that side of the market where it's kind of chat rooms and you're keeping yourself involved with other traders. And you kind of got to manage yourself through just the whole world of trading altogether. But I think you pretty much nailed it there. So let me ask,
I was in this huge chat room, and there was one person in there. His name was Don, and for whatever reason, he was just the most consistent, and I really valued what he was doing. And I reached out to him and was like, hey, man, I would love for you to teach me your strategy and this and that. And he had a lot going on in his life. And he showed me all these text messages on Discord of people just asking him to do it. And he started up his own mentorship probably a year and a half ago. And so I only listened to 2 people in the whole market. And I listened to Connor and I listened to Don. And that's where I learned my trading strategy that I trade off of now.
Awesome. And if you guys don't already know that are joining in tonight, Don is the head guy at the Don Franz Show on YouTube. So feel free, search him up. Again, great content there. So you can definitely check it out. Again, everybody trades a little different. You can definitely learn from pretty much anybody. You got to pick and choose who you want to learn from and really kind of pick things from everybody and develop your strategy. We all know that if you've been trading for, some, degree of time, right?
Sure.
So let me ask you
your strategy is.
So my strategy personally, right, and it always kind of changes. I think it does change a little bit as you become a better trader. and then it changes obviously a little bit with market condition. There's always that big
Yes,
discussion. Does it change with market condition? Does the
for
way that you
sure. It has.
trade change with market condition? And it does to some respect, but at the end of the day, it's really all the same. Some things change a bit, but it's really how you position yourself. It's all the same stuff. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It might
Well,
break up. It might break down. So it's really just about how you're positioning yourself and timing, right? I mean, that's pretty much what it always comes down to. And that's where I could bring in one of the famous sayings about buying a stock is you can buy the world's best stock or you can buy the world's best company, but it doesn't mean you're buying it at a good price. So even
sure.
though it's a great company, you could be getting it at the worst price, right? So just because something looks like it's going to go still doesn't mean it's the right time to buy. So
Sure. But you're trading a different style and a different strategy in a trend, or if it's consolidating for a week. So when I'm in an uptrend, I try my best just to follow it. I don't try to fight the bulls and go with it. And when we're consolidating and just going sideways, I change my strategy up totally.
no, I agree 100%. And so, something I can add on to that is, when you first come in and trade, just anybody, when you're first coming into trading, your
Sure.
ideal play is going to be some type of decent move. Doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be really big, but something big, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
why we all trade. You kind of want a big move. But the
Yes.
more and more you trade, the more you're going to realize that it's not that you can't catch the big move. It's more so that the big move isn't really what's supposed to happen.
Exactly.
And when you start to condition your mind away from the big move, you will start to understand the normal fluctuations of stocks. And
Hmm.
when you start to trade kind of the normal fluctuation rather than looking for the big play, you're going to find yourself into more of a consistent winning strategy, or just in general, getting a little bit more consistent with your trading. And then when the big breakout happens, you'll kind of
Exactly.
know why it happened, right? You'll get a better feel for the stock. So
And if you're doing it right,
basically the
you're
tip
in.
there is don't try to always catch the big move and be happy with even the smaller moves in the market, because again, the market, it gives you a little piece, a little taste, right? It doesn't have to give you something big all the time. And you have to understand that the market is a give and take place, right? You get what you can, but you don't overstay your welcome.
No, well, you're not moving the market. You're trying to move with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
You're
and so
doing the
I just want
tango.
to be the fly on the elephant, man. I know I don't have the capital to move it. So when I see it, I just try to jump on it. But I'm a big believer that if you're trading the right way, you can be in those trades before they break out like that. And so now you're not chasing.
Exactly. No, 100%.
Everyone sees Netflix jump up 5 points and jumps and it slams to the ground and they're stuck in it and then they bag hold it and they're in pray and hope mode. And
Which,
so
by
it's
the way, you're the one who
that's
called out
chasing.
Netflix today in the chat, right? You were,
I did call out
yeah, I
Netflix.
think that was you. You
Yeah.
were talking, and I looked at that. I was looking at it on a side screen, and I think I was too focused on LK at the time. And I
No,
looked
love
over. I'm
that
like, you know what?
putting
That does look
off.
good. But I was so focused on LK, I couldn't get a piece of it. And then like turn away for 3 minutes, look back, and it jumps like 4 points. I'm like, well, he got it there. So
So
congrats
I
on that one.
have
That was a good one today.
yeah. So I have no indicators, absolutely none. If I took a screenshot of my computer screen, I don't even have volume. Um, I'm just a complete price action guy, and I play off of a strategy that is very common in Forex. It's a supply and demand strategy. It's also known as zones. And I am looking, and I do all my charting on the 4 hour, but I am looking for the value areas and I'm looking for that tug of war where the buyers and sellers are just in this massive fight. And I found that's where you can really anticipate where the stock is going to go from one point to another. If it breaks out of my zone in the upward direction, I'm fairly confident it's going to make it to the next zone and vice versa downwards. So that's kind of my
Absolutely.
strategy.
100%. I can totally see. I know exactly what you're doing, right? So, in another way to think about what Brian just said there, guys, is that basically stocks go into consolidation and then they're going to pick a direction, right? That's where the tug of
Exactly.
war is at.
Exactly.
And that tug of war is what creates the tension. The tension back and forth is what creates the possibility of a stock even having that explosive breaking out move. So when you look
Mhm.
at a stock and it's consolidating, you're like, oh, that's kind of ugly. Don't say that. That's what you want. That's
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
actually
exactly.
want. You want the stock to
Exactly,
kind of look ugly in consolidation because
for
that's where
sure.
you're getting the tug of war. That tug of war is what's going to create the breakout. If you're over here searching for breakout moves and things that you're going to be late every time, you're late every time.
Yeah,
Okay. So don't be looking 100% for the breakout or one of those really beautiful looking moves. Kind of look for that ugly back and forth consolidation because that's what's going to end up trailing into a breakout.
yeah.
And the
And
more you
we
follow it, the better you'll learn and the quicker you're going to learn. So what Brian just said is again, spot on, 100%
and
spot on.
we laugh at this a lot in the chat between you and me because we trade very similar, but from two different planets. And you'll be in Shop or Roku or Netflix or whatever, and you're on the 1 minute time frame, and
Hmm.
you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna get squeezed out," and it's because it's just this one little red candle, and one your position size and your risk and everything like that. But I'll be sitting there on the chat, and I'm looking at my screen, and it's really just sitting right on my like zone floor.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm holding, and you're like, yeah, I'm squeezed out, and it'll jump. I'm like, dude, you sell so quick. And you're like, yeah, I know, and this and then we've had tons of talks about it. But so I play smaller position sizes and I let it play out more.
And
You're
so,
in big position, hoping
yeah,
to
so,
catch the
so this
move.
is actually something it's a good to talk about is so my initial way of trading, and I still do it from time to time, but I will do what Brian just said. There is kind of like a heavy share scalp position on a 1 minute time frame, right? On a 1 minute time frame, the stock could be jumping from, let's just say, like, $40 to $41 and still be in the buy zone for Brian,
Absolutely.
right? Whereas for me on a 1 minute time frame, it wouldn't be the buy zone. It might be the sell zone for me for my position, right? On that that very intraday 1 minute time frame, you're going with a big position, looking for a smaller fractional move to make a decent amount of money. Whereas Brian will be looking at, a bigger picture time zone where even if if the stock's fluctuating a dollar up and down, it's still good for him, but not
Absolutely.
be as good for me.
Until if I'm bullish, until Roku breaks under my zone, I'm in it. I'm in it. I won't close it. So
So let me ask you. So you're pretty much just solely focused on large caps, more
100%
so kind
large.
of higher price.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. So
Nothing under. I think my cheapest stock on my watch list would be like Uber. That's $40.
all right.
Everything else I got, let's see here. So my watch list is pretty small. I have Tesla, SPX, Amazon, TTD, Shop, Netflix, Apple, Baba, Nvidia, Microsoft, Facebook,
Yes,
Spy,
sir.
Vind, and Roku, Disney, BA, AMD, Uber, and Square. That's my watch list.
And as you guys can see, all fairly
And
high
I will
price
play
stocks there.
nothing of that besides that. And we've talked about that before. I
Hmm.
love knowing my stocks. That's why I played Tesla for so long, because I knew what those candles were doing. I was like, okay, I know this move. I've seen this 100 times. So when you started playing LK, I listen and it's fun and I root for you and I root for everyone else. But I'm like, I'm not getting an LK. I have no idea what that thing's gonna do.
Hmm. And
So
that is very important. What Brian said, guys, you don't have to trade something different every day, or you don't always have to search the market for the best moving stock. If you get comfortable with just five, you'll probably end up seeing consistency much faster. Now, that's what I preach. I tell people all the time, right, that are just starting. Pick a couple stocks, get really
absolutely.
familiar with them, learn the way they trade, understand the support, the resistance, the supply and demand zones, which Brian specifically was talking about supply and demand zone, right? Focus on like five stocks, right? You do
Sure.
that, you'll get more comfortable and you'll understand the way that they move faster and then start to branch out, get a little bit, test the waters a little bit more. That's, you don't want to go try and test every single thing right off the bat because then you'll probably find yourself just losing constantly, right?
I played Netflix and Apple for my first 4 months of trading.
There you go. Netflix
That
and
is it.
Apple. And Netflix is still
I
one of my favorite
literally
traders. I
did
haven't been
not
trading
touch
a
them.
lot though lately.
Yeah, Netflix was kind of weird. Apple's been a runner. Apple's been fun. Um, but yeah, and I don't preach. And in my chat room, everyone knows I am not even close to the biggest money maker, and I'm not trying to be. This is a long game for me. I'm coming up to like my 3-year-ish anniversary in it. I have no interest in blowing. I've never blown an account. I've never taken a massive kill shot to my account.
That's good.
I keep my losses small and I keep my wins small because I'll let them run a little bit. And that's one thing that I'm working on is bag holding my winners. And everyone bag holds their losers, and
Not
they
the winners.
cut their winners so fast. And I have to agree or admit that I'm a little bit a part of that. I always kick myself at the end of the day saying, oh my God, it ran up more. And I
Mm-hmm.
wish I did that. But trading is all emotions and it's all psychology. It's just you versus you, man. And I just
100%.
think I just think it's so ingrained and so important to have your emotional aspects in check with this. Emotional selling, emotional buying, revenge trading, freaking out if you swing something overnight and you're down. Most people just instantly sell it. They have no idea how to get into recovery mode. There's just so many emotions, and
So many tactics, so many
oh my
approaches.
God,
It's
trading
it's
is
endless.
just
We
a
could have this conversation
lifelong
for a whole day.
experience every day.
So we're gonna get ready to wrap it up here. So we're gonna finish off
Oh my
with the
God, it's
topic.
15 minutes. Look at that.
We're gonna finish off with the topic of Tesla because we all know
Not
you guys
the
want to hear about
past 2
Tesla.
months.
So we're gonna give you guys our expert advice on Tesla as of the date
Buy
of.
it. Just buy it.
Just buy it. Just buy it.
Every
It's going to the moon.
candle is a dip buy. That's all it's been.
It's going to Pluto. It's going to Pluto.
It's on Pluto.
No, so we're going to talk about Tesla. We're going to just kind of spit some facts at you guys, and you guys take it for what it's worth.
Real quick. Have you ever seen a large cap stock do this before in your career? Because I haven't.
Not to this degree, no, not to this degree, right? So we are definitely seeing pretty much the same sort of buying and FOMO and excitement and euphoria that you'd get in a penny stock. It really is, and we're going to break it down just like that. Right.
Okay.
So, Brian, what do you have to say right now on Tesla, considering the date 2-4, the way it closed today with that sharp drop down?
I hate that.
What is your mindset right now?
I hate that 4-hour candle. And I am not one to think that we are going to have 3 straight days of 120 plus moves. I think if you were in a swing position over Friday and yesterday, then you came out amazing. But I would not short it. And I would not go long on it. It is, if I'm looking at it at the 4-hour right now, that huge red candle with the doji kind of in the middle, I don't know. I would be very cautious with it because right now, we were talking about this earlier, it's not moving in dollars. It's not going from 850 to 851. It's going from 850 to 830. And you can't go small on the position. The ticker is now $900 for a share.
Mm-hmm. You're putting up cash, right? You're putting up.
Oh, you sure? And I trade options.
Yeah, and they're still expensive. The options are. I haven't even checked the options, right? So if we look at, let's look at. I'm just going to look at one of the earliest expiration option chains here. Let's see.
$3,500.
Yeah, so we got. If you want to go right now, for those of you that trade options, for those that don't worry, we're not going to be on this too much. But basically, for one option, it's going to cost you $500. Right now, just one at the money option is about $500, $550. That's insane.
You see that? Let me see. So you're on this week?
Yeah, the February is the puts. The puts are getting more expensive, guys, which means that traders.
That's $5,400.
Yeah, excuse me, $5,400. Math is off there.
I was about to say, where did you find a $500?
No, yeah, excuse me, $5,400 for one put option right now.
Yeah.
So this is where I want to talk to you guys about a lot of the stuff I'm seeing going on with Tesla and give you guys some input from, some technicals, a little bit of the fundamental side. We'll talk a bit on the options and then on the equity side, right, guys? So from my perspective, what we're seeing here is it is a bubble. Granted, 100%, it's definitely a bubble. In the time frame we're looking at, which is right now, 2 years from now, the bubble will have popped, probably, most likely, okay? The bubble's probably going to pop here in like a week. I would honestly feel that. So for a couple things we got going on, we got a custom study here on our volume that I use, and basically today's daily chart candle selling volume was 61%. So all the volume that took place today, Tesla on, again, February 4th, traded 60 million shares. And out of that 61 million, 61% of it was selling volume today. Okay.
Oh,
So we have a majority selling volume day. Even though the day is green, even though Tesla closed green today, it is still a more of a selling day by
so
the
is
end of
that
the
a
day.
shorting day, or is that people selling their
Now
position?
we don't know between the volume if it's shorting or selling, but you can be
Okay,
sure that some of
I
it's
got
definitely shorting, right?
I
So
got
we just know that this is selling volume, right?
got
Just overall selling. Could be short, just could be taking profit, right?
it. Okay.
Now let's look at how much volume the stock has traded in 2 days. In 2 days' time, from yesterday to today, we have traded 105 million shares, guys. 105 million. If you look at the current available shares available for Tesla right now, it's only like 130 or maybe like somewhere around like 140 million. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really care. It's something around there. 130, 140 million, right? So if we traded 105 million over the course of 2 days, and there's only like 130, 140 million to go around, that means most of the supply of the stock has done what we call exchange hands. So pretty much
Okay.
everybody that owned the stock 3 weeks ago has now given off their shares to somebody else within the past 2 days.
And that's very similar to penny
And
stocks.
that's a very similar thing that happens to penny stocks. When you guys see penny stocks have those really sharp crashing days, it's because of that exact same scenario I just said. We have traded so many shares that it has basically traded the entire supply of the stock that can go around on the open market. So let me ask you guys, if the entire available supply of Tesla's stock has pretty much exchanged hands, who do you think exchanged it to who? Do you think Goldman Sachs is buying this at 968 right now, or do you think they're selling it to most of you guys at $968? They're selling it to you. The share float rotation is exchanging hands, and a lot of those shares are getting placed into the hands of naive buyers and investors that don't know any better. And they're going to be the ones that get caught holding the bag, as they usually are. So we're going into a critical time where we have bubbled out on Tesla. It looks like we may have gotten our exhaustion gap to the upside today. With the overnight gap from yesterday to today, we might have got our exhaustion gap. Okay. Secondly, there was something else I wanted to touch on. Oh,
And I
there's,
wanted it to hit that 1,000 mark.
yeah,
Wow.
a lot of people wanted to hit the 1,000 mark, right? That's it. I think we basically did. We hit basically 970. We're 30 points shy. We have created a monster doji on the daily chart. That can be a sign of a reversal. So we're getting a candlestick reversal. We got 60% of
Look
the
at it
volume
on
today
the
was selling
daily.
volume, right? We have
Funny to look at on the daily.
it's crazy. We have exchanged the share count. The share float has exchanged hands pretty much entirely on a
Mhm.
multi on Tesla. That's a big stock. It's not a penny stock. So pretty much we have done what a penny stock would do, but on Tesla. If you're a Fibonacci trader, your
Mhm.
nearest support on the stock is at about 550 to 560. If you're a standard deviation trader, your next nearest support on the daily chart is 600. So let me ask you, what do you think is going to happen? You think the pro traders are buying this all up? You think the pro investors are buying this up at 1,000 when the float is no, it's not happening. There's a very strong chance we're going to be seeing a monster corrective move. And if I was anybody who wanted to trade this, I would not be even considering buying this thing long until we come down to prices of 600, 650 minimum. So if I'm not thinking of buying it, what do you think other professional traders are thinking of buying it right now? No, they're not thinking of buying it. They're like, screw that, right? I'll buy it down at 600.
Yeah. I could
Where do you
see a
think it's probably
hiccup.
going?
I could see a hiccup at 763.
Like, so that's me. And that number, that 600 to 550, it changes. The higher Tesla goes, that number can change with it, right? But for
Hmm.
right now, that's the logical buying point for me, 600. So why
Yeah.
would I wouldn't buy it at 900. So I'm not going to help you. If you're buying at 950, I'm not helping you make any money because I'm not putting my money on the line to buy it up for you to make it a higher price. I'm not doing it. I don't
So
know
I
who
have a
will.
question for you then.
And I don't think the people that would be willing to buy this at $968 have the capital to move this thing much higher. Right? I could be wrong, but we're looking pretty ugly. That's my opinion. In the short time frame, we're looking ugly. With all those technicals at hand, I think Tesla's a sell and a buy around 600.
Are you shorting it?
I think I'm going to be looking at some options, but that's the thing. It's like, dude, these option prices are so through the roof right now.
Through the roof.
they're just through the roof. It's like, do I really want to, but that's it. It's like, do I really want to throw down 5,500 for even one put? Do I
One,
want to spread it, make it a little less expensive? I could do that. I could throw a spread on there, but then I'm
most
tossing up
definitely.
a $10,000 worth of capital. Do I even really want to do that?
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
I stopped trading it. I have a couple friends that have basically retired in the past week. That was totally up to them. I'm so happy for them. I stopped trading it. I just couldn't risk it.
No, that's 100% agree. So
Couldn't
I
risk
don't
it.
blame.
I had no. That's the other thing is you start trading. I know we got to go, but as you start trading longer and longer, you start not giving a crap about missing things. Things are gonna come again. Something else is moving. I can make just as much money, not really, but I can make good money on Netflix and Apple and
Yeah,
Bin. Then I don't have to risk my whole account and my trading career on Tesla right now.
exactly. And that's
And I have no
100%
FOMO.
perfect.
I
The
have no
longer
FOMO.
you trade, the more moves you see. The more moves you see, the more you know that another one's going to be right around the corner. Maybe not as big as Tesla, but another
Sure.
one will happen very similar to it. And you'll catch that one, or you won't, but another one will happen. You lose the FOMO. FOMO is one thing you guys got to get rid of. So we're going to wrap it up there for tonight. Brian, I appreciate you so much for coming on and speaking with us. If you ever want to jump on again, you have my blessing 100%. Just let me know and we'll bring you back on.
That would be a lot of fun. I wish all of your listeners and everyone in the chat the best of luck. It's a new year. Take it slow and protect your capital. Have fun. Remember why you got into it. And I will see most of you in the chat because that's pretty much everyone I know in trading is in my chat. So,
All right, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you.
all right, man. I'll see you.